a Chevy 2006 4.3 work truck, and the problem that it had was it would die just out of the blue, and if I added a little bit of gas it would work. And then the first mechanic told me that it was the fuel pump, and then it turns out it wasn't the fuel pump. Then the second mechanic told me it was the distributor cap and the rotor. So we replaced it 4 times and it wasn't a problem. Then I took it to another mechanic, and there's a trend on this truck in all Silverado from 2000, I believe 2000 and 2006, 7, they have the same issue. There's a wire on the left passenger side. Right there on the bottom, there's a wire which you see at the ground, and it gets burnt out or it doesn't work. So what a lot of people do is they just bypass it, which is what the third mechanic did on the black wire. The red one I put it myself because I wanted to make sure that that connection was getting enough ground force. So, and it didn't work. And then another mechanic told me that it was the ignition switch, and it wasn't. So I read a comment on on internet saying that it was a bad ground connection somewhere. So what I did was right here by the alternator ground connection, I remove it and I clean it out. I did the same thing for the fuel pump, for the whole frame, which is right here on the middle section. If you go right here, right on the bottom, right here, and you will see it. Where is it? I don't see it. And it was right here. Wait, this one and this one, those, and this one, and then it didn't work. So I got frustrated and I decided to let it running. What I did is, as of now, I have it running, and I put the emergency brake on, and I have it on drive with the AC on. And I removed the whole setup from the steering wheel because somebody told me that it was gonna be the ignition switch. This is the ignition cylinder and the ignition switch. Okay, this is the ignition switch. So I was gonna remove it. And then, I mean, it's 106 degrees right now, so I just kind of got frustrated, and I decided to let it, run for 45 minutes, and I wanted to see if there was a leakage on oil, which the power steering cap is not working because it's leaking oil, so I had to replace it. And a lot of other people say that the AC connection, the AC pipe goes in here and then it drips water on top of the distributor cap, so it gets some moisture and it doesn't work. That's why my second mechanic replaced the distributor rotor 4 times. And this is my AC. So the problem that I had was, as long as I keep the truck on park and I keep it on like for 10 hours straight, it doesn't fail. It's not a problem. Everything starts when I start driving on reverse or forward. That's when it just hit me. I was like, there's gotta be something that is causing the problem. So what I did was I started messing around with all the wires, and guess what? There's this wire, this one, which is one of the connectors goes to the alternator. The second goes to the map, like that. And the third one goes to the secondary power, which I replaced it. It turns out when I was moving the wires, this connector from the alternator was the one that is causing the short circuit. So I move it around and I made sure. So I call Advance and all the regular auto parts companies, if they don't sell this connector by itself. It's a 2-pin connector. Turns out you have to go to the dealership and buy a new one. So what I did is I got epoxy glue, and I just put it in between the wires. Put it in between the wires and I let it dry up. So that way the wires will stay in one position, and when driving, the wind, it wouldn't move the wires and cause the short circuit. Because one of the problems with this truck, I have a 2006. This truck, 2003 to 2000, some models 2007, they have the problem with the hood that it never closes all the way on one side. So there's a lot of extra wind going under the hood and, you know, messing around with the wires and everything. So just so you know, if you have the same problem, trust me, make sure that you check the connector from the alternator first. Okay?